Recording bad. Yeah, like even when they're trying to take over Vin Diesel's car and they're all surrounding him, trying to do burnouts around him. He's like, he has to at least have 1,000 horsepower in the engine. He's like, make that 2,000, make that 3,000. That's at least 5,000. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Yucky.
You gotta love them.
this movie is crazy.
You have to love them. All right. So we got the recording going. Do we need to introduce ourselves? I don't think we need to do anything crazy.
Are you uploading this or are you doing?
I uploaded the last one. I aim for consistency across this channel.
I see.
They can see our names. It says it. So
the hidden consistency. They can always see our names. We always introduce.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
I did want to pull up the one though.
I'm the art guy. Hey guys, everybody.
This
Don't mind me.
Japan Man X3. You see it.
Yo, Bluish.
Actually, he goes by Chill, but you already know.
Yeah, it's very interchangeable. I'm feeling like Michael Myers right now, so I'm gonna just go with the Michael Myers pick today.
Oh my gosh.
Indeed.
All right, guys. So we have somewhat of a list of information to discuss. So yeah, I feel like channel-wise, we are still, within the inception period, but I think we're getting to a point where now we've got two of some things, right? We have two podcasts, right? We have 2 episodes at least of each podcast. So that's cool. And I don't see the train stopping, right? It seems like we have energy for both the game podcast.
You sound disappointed.
No. I'm happy. I'm happy that we've been, like, if you look from November to now, like, we've uploaded every month, we've recorded something every month. That's a far cry from the summertime when, like, everything was like once every 3 months. So,
But are we doing better than Donkey?
it's hard. It's hard to do a little better than Donkey because he puts up a 14-second clip. Did you see that? The Super Mario. That's like 14 seconds already like 20 million or something stupid. So yeah, I mean,
I don't think Donkey should be that should not be our benchmark as of right now.
Not at all. I don't think ever. I don't ever want that type of pressure. But
well, quite frankly.
What you aspire for even greater? You want MKBHD numbers or something?
That's even lighter. We still talking about Donkey here. You gonna downgrade us to MKBHD?
Is he more? Donkey's not more. He doesn't have more subs than MKBHD. Donkey don't have a diamond plaque.
Fam.
He got the ruby.
This is Donkey you're talking about.
Ruby.
That's a real thing. Like, I think PewDiePie.
He has diamonds. He's told us he has diamonds.
All right. I don't know what we're talking about, Donkey. We're talking about Village 285. That's what we're talking about right now.
Facts.
What's that?
All right. Hey, yo, kick him
Those are hip. Those do hip kids.
Yo, kick him off. That's some niggas.
those are true niggas before the number 1 spot, right?
Oh snap! All right, so look. All right, for real though. Like, so yeah. Anyway, all I'm saying is we've been progressing, which is good. It's good to see progression. We should keep that momentum, and I feel like we have opportunities in other places to not only grow and develop, but we have some fine tuning that we can do on our end to keep what we already have going. Not only just efficient, but just good, right? Quality wise, like we can make that even better. Like I feel like every time we record something and do something, like it's better than the last recording, which is great. There's still always maybe 1 or 2 hiccups or whatever, and though they used to kind of be like really detrimental, now it seems like they're evening out. Like this most recent anime pod where it's like, audio's Audio's fine for the most part, right? We never had any audio real hiccups or desyncs or anything like that because we just used the thing from Riverside, just the combination video that they automatically produce. But, at least for me, I know if my video would have been separated out and it would have been, pristine, it would have been better to kind of just like move it and navigate it however we wanted to and then kind of format it that way. So, I mean, again, we're just starting. So it's not like, I don't think any of us should have the expectation just kind of out the gate, just be like, fine with it. But I think we are getting to a point where we can, continue to learn and expand our skill sets and get to a nice consistency where maybe the little kinks that we have been dealing with so far will be more of a thing of the past, and then we can focus on other ways to optimize in other areas. So I came up with the little, checklist about some stuff to kind of go over right quick, to get you all's opinion on, so that way we can kind of have more of a clear direction of, just what the future brings. So as you may see on the OneNote, the first thing is just picking a logo for the Player Twos podcast. Now,
oh brother.
So for this week's disheartening news, I happened to be on Spotify and just randomly typed in our podcast because I was under the impression that Are.dot had some way that we were on Spotify. I don't know if this is 100% facts.
I thought you were following us already.
How can I follow us on Spotify when I can't find us on Spotify? Anyway,
we got a whole website.
Every time I hit the link for that website, nothing happened. No pressure. No pressure. It's okay. That's my wife burping in the background.
Why you got me on black?
Say what's up to Jess. Look, anyway.
Look out for our YouTube video.
So anyway, I'm searching for Player Two's podcast on Spotify, and all of a sudden I find another whole different podcast named Players 2.
They white.
And yeah, like they've been in the game since 2019, and I was like, oh, that could be an issue.
But they white.
It doesn't matter if they're white, white or black, we still have to deal with it. So yeah, and then looking them up on Google and searching it by that format, which I had not done, obviously, because who does Players 2? It's the Players anyway. So I look it up on Google, and yeah, they have a whole website. They got their pod on Spotify, Apple, everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, so there is some professionalism here already.
It was on top of the layers of the bathroom door.
Oh, weird.
You're not recording.
Yeah.
I'm recording.
The platform is right on the layers of the toilet. They whack. They that whack.
Sorry.
just for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna just put this in our chat and our Discord. Just so I can confirm this.
The Players 2 thing?
No, just click on the link.
Oh, hold on. All right. I'm sharing my Discord screen, so
that's fine. Right. So all the world can see this as well.
Exit the full screen. Got you. So Anchor. Okay. Well, anyway. So yeah, when that opens, I guess I'll show it. So yeah, first, I guess the biggest question is, what do we think about this situation? Do we change our names? Do we stick to our guns?
I want them dead.
Huh?
I want them out of here. The whole family dead.
I want
the kids dead.
Okay, cool. So
yeah, I say
our resident bodyguard JJ, please let us know what we do.
I say we fight them to the death.
There you go.
Okay.
Money match them.
All right. In Rocket League of all things.
Still Rocket League.
It's still Rocket League.
You put a Paul Walker, you pull up and be like, I want them pink slips. That's what we play for around here.
All your links, all your admin privileges, all your
everything.
Your username, password.
So here's the thing,
You
right?
keep the Facebook though. We don't want that.
in your MySpace.
Ugh, not the Napster. So I mean, all right, it is close in proximity. It's not the exact same thing. We fall under the Village 285 umbrella anyway, so on one end, I don't feel like there's much conflict, right? And then two, it's small time. I mean, as far as like us, and I'm assuming them too. I don't really know. I didn't do my whole research and due diligence because I was just so shocked to see the closeness. When of course we all y'all, you were there with us. We brainstormed this. We came up with this name. Like we put time and effort into this. So, and I don't think it is different enough. But it is just like one of those things where it's like, oh dang, like you tell someone like, yo, check out Players 2 podcast, and then like, oh, well, check out the Player 2's podcast, and then they find
listen to some crazy people this whole time.
Oh, none of these folks that's talking to me right now. So I don't know. If we did go back to the drawing board, do y'all have suggestions, or are we strictly like for sure right now putting our foot down and saying, nah, we stand who we are? Because we're only 2 episodes deep. Technically, at least for as far as like YouTube uploads. So,
all right, so if we're calling for a rebrand, mind you, if we have to do like a 3-man vote, I'm fine for that. But at this time, I'm impartial either way. I'm on the fence, to be honest.
I mean, I kind of I agree to an extent. I actually dig the name quite a bit, so I'm fine with like sticking with it for now. Me personally, especially since we're still trying to build and grow and all of that stuff. But you did bring up a good point how that could make it a little bit more difficult for people to find us in general. I'm just thinking about how the painstakingly long time it took us to actually come up with the name itself.
The blood, sweat, and tears, bro.
It's like I just don't I don't know if I want to go through that just all in one sitting.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't mind. I don't know, maybe putting it out there for whatever, like the next podcast. Maybe putting it out there to see what they think for some secondary ideas, just in case.
Post it on our socials, since our socials are popping too. Make sure you follow us.
After this video, right? As soon as we upload, IG, Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Obviously Twitter. We got.
Don't forget your Pinterest.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got a whole subreddit.
Patreon.
Please donate to the Patreon, please. So yeah, I feel like it is something that we should address, at least bring up to the other members of the crew, just to get their thoughts on it. It's 6 of us mainly, so out of the 6, I feel like we should at least come together on one side of things, whether it be stick with, go against, and go from there. So I think that puts the logo talk on a pause for now. Otherwise, it would have been on and popping, right? We just would have had to solidify a date to have the logo ready to go. But for right now, I think probably next pod, which hopefully is happening before the end of the month, we just can talk about that. Hang on one second. What's up? You cut your hair? Bro, every time I come on...
Dang.
Damn.
This life-changing event just occurred.
It's happening right in my house. I don't even know.
Oh, his mic on?
He in the camera. Let me get the scissors. All right. Anyway, so
that was crazy.
All right, yeah. So we'll talk about that hopefully next podcast. Brief little segment. Bluish, if you can.
And you
if you haven't already.
You get a glimpse by new members' hair too, cut too. Just make sure I subscribe. Catch that video when it drops.
Like, comment, share.
Be the first ones, you know what it is.
All right. So the next topic on the docket, a podcast template for our recordings. So I catch Easy Allies, right? I watch Easy Allies, and they've been doing their pods off Zoom ever since COVID hit, and since COVID, I think for sure. But even when I think they do like Twitch group streams and stuff like that, they have it so that there's like a basic outline for their podcast, right? Like, you know, in the background, you'll see stuff, little animations and everything like that. Each person has their own square, kind of like how Discord is right now for us. Like, you know, everyone has their own section of the screen. And so I think it'll be cool if we do, you know, get proficient with Riverside actually working, doing the recordings, all the uploads coming through proper, and like, you know, good stretches, not just like that extra broken up stuff. Then maybe being able to find some type of template, and whoever's gonna do the editing video, Are.dot, then yeah, you know, just have like a template where you can just throw the folks in, and they kind of have their own space. Because something I noticed about Riverside, depending upon how when you press record, it starts to throw everybody in kind of at random, so it doesn't prioritize people. I don't feel like anyway. So, you know, you'll press record and I'll be on one side of the screen, and then if we have to pause and come back, I'll be on another side of the screen. That's literally what happened with the anime pod. So I just feel like that may be a good idea to like maybe find, you know, get some structure as far as like, you know, I always think the moderator should be kind of like taking the, maybe some type of centralized location. So that way they can kind of demand the attention of everyone, if you will. And then, yeah, we can go from there. Now, if that can happen in real time, that's one thing. If it's like a post-process thing, then that's fine too. But yeah, just something I was thinking about. Any thoughts on that, or any recommendations that y'all could think of, or comparisons maybe?
Yeah, I have a few tabs open. So sorry, I apologize for some of the scatterbrainness, but I know even initially with our current podcast solution that we're using, which is Riverside, I was hoping that it was very pain-free and it was as lovely as the marketing and all the reviews online were making it out to be. It does a job, it does work, but it sounded so more sound and good compared to a lot of the other generic podcast solutions. And so all of those have their ifs, ands, and buts about the recordings, and sometimes stuff is lost in the cloud, or things just don't work, or you know, a lot of stuff is like they always say now Riverside is definitely way more stable and sound than those. And then we've already had our share of funkiness for Riverside. So it's like, it's a good thing we didn't go with some of those, but even more so, I guess this lets us know the climate of all these kind of solutions. Mm-hmm. And so, and even with our current solution, it doesn't necessarily give us, or at least me personally, it doesn't give me the premium feel that I would want and that I can achieve in different ways. And so, if we are prepping, especially if we are doing other little maneuvering things around, and even speaking on the tabs I have open, I have like 3 different tabs I've been wanting to share with you guys of some things that we can try soon. That kind of addresses the Riverside stuff and gives us way more. It streamlines some of the video editing and it makes the video templates even more easier, but also it gives us a little more premium feel and a little more flexibility when it comes to us recording these videos.
Fuck. You gonna show them off, or they're behind the scenes for right now?
We could do it now, but that'll definitely be just off the cuff.
Nah, it's cool. But I mean, so we're thinking about it. All right, cool.
I still have. For sure. So like we could do that like right after this video. Okay. Like we could jump straight into it, but. Okay.
What you about to say?
I mean, I still just have Photoshop open. I'm just a graphics guy.
I was just gonna say, I think that's a good idea, because maybe I'm guessing you probably see what I see with me. Like, yeah, not even just the over budget thing. It's the fact that like I'm paying like what, $39, and this mug is like we still dealing with like what would seem like simplistic problems in this. Like Riverside is cool, and it definitely has its upsides, and it's definitely made things easier from us originally switching over from Discord. But I feel like Craig was a little bit more reliable than Riverside. Yeah, so
It's because it's like I thought it
So
was
I
gonna
mean,
be,
at least
I thought it was gonna be like a situation where like he was like do it and it works and no issues, right? Like that was the initial assumption, right? Especially because I'm paying you, and then it's like
Yeah.
now I have to stress like when the pod's over and I'm like, do I have a pod to put up? Like I don't even want to be that guy that has to come back and be like, yo guys, so you know that whole 2 hour episode that we just did, it don't exist.
Yeah, we've had that
All that hard
scare
work.
the past 2 times,
Yeah.
especially the last one.
Fact.
There was a slight scare.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And so
that's a sucky feeling.
with it being such a platform that is so great, but it's still like some prep that you have to do, prep outside of even like the pod, like this prep for just the platform to work. That's where it's like, all right, the money to work involved is
And I
it makes you reconsider
and I
other
can't
stuff.
even like hold you because like I know I have terrible internet in my apartment, right? I know it's trash. So me just thinking that it's doing the thing and it's showing me like it's not like I'm just like over here and it's like, oh, it said this didn't work. Let me try this. Like nah, like it said it's uploading, and then it stayed at the same percentage like for forever, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. So I logged in, I pressed the URL link to like further do it, and it went to that, and it's uploading, right? I had 2 uploads still left, right? One finished completely, and then the other one got to like 99%, and then like it hit 100, and I was like, oh, it's done, cool. So I like closed the screen, right? And then I closed the other screen. I refreshed, and it was like failed to upload, and I was like, oh, so it's just gone, like, huh? And then I'm thinking, yeah, like, so it does hardware help as far as like the uploading, so it records to your computer, and then it gets shipped off. So I'm like, well, maybe the file's still on a computer, but that's a whole buttload of mess to find. So it just was, it was not as convenient as I had hoped. When it's just like, I thought the situation was, hey, we do this, we pay you this, we upload this, and then it's good. But if your upload process is janky, I risk the whole thing off that alone, right? So it's just weird. So yeah. All right, and I think that feeds into our other stuff too. So maybe this is the right time to talk about it, or maybe when we have more of a solidified concept of what the next format of our podcast will be like, we may be better prepared to talk about this. But just like contingency plans for like folks who don't have, any video, right? Like, or like, if we have an issue where like the video cuts, or we still have audio at the same time, or what if the audio is choppy? What if someone doesn't have a camera at all? Like, what do we do? And so I guess like in those type of circumstances, I do feel like Xavier's like, okay, Chilla's a good example tonight, right? He's not on cam. That's cool. You still get like a slot somewhere. Whereas like on Riverside, you don't get any indication that someone's talking and that they're present when they're not
That's true, yeah.
on video. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a voice in the clouds coming through. So yeah, a good way to, just some type of way to identify and be like, yeah, these are the people who are here, and they can have their own screen real estate where they just be like, their image or whatever, however they want to present themselves. It's cool. I mean, we have the cards. You can use your little, your little. I don't know if y'all can see the drip. You know what I'm saying?
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
Big drip.
Yeah.
Big drip.
Yeah. So I mean, you can use that.
On that topic, we need to bring Machinima back. But that's my 2 cents. All right, let's keep going.
Okay. I see it. Hey, if you hack Animal Crossing and it doesn't sue you first, then I mean, we got you.
Jesus. We could just use the player 2's channel since it's already shaky as is.
I just gotta say the way Machinima did my boy Darkseid.
Get him out.
I can't. I'm playing.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that'll come with further discussion of any new platform that we venture to. But I think it will be good to just have that type of stuff kind of in our heads, so that way we don't freak and spaz out and get all despondent when something goes wrong. Because things will happen, things will go wrong. We have a lot of lives involved with this. I know that sounds really dramatic, but I mean like just in terms of like people, right? So people come through,
It's real out here.
and people have real lives, and so things happen in those real lives, and they may have to leave, or they just maybe out and about when the pod is going. Now, granted, thankfully, we only have one kind of serial person who's kind of in and out, but I think he is kind of getting to a point where, like, you know, stuff is like pretty consistent. You know, we space out some time, and we know generally these things are going to take about 2 to maybe 2.5 hours to record, and yeah, I mean, it seems to be pretty good so far. So yeah, I think as long as we have some backup straps, if you will, we should be all right. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea.
We was talking
Yeah,
about.
so we got a few 6-men.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's what's really clutch too. I like having kind of a variety chair where a random person can come in and take a seat for the pod. That's pretty cool. It makes it feel more alive than just us. So
Yeah.
but not everybody's just gonna automatically come through and get some branding. That's not how it works. You're not gonna get. I'm not paying money for you to get the spot.
You know, facts.
Yeah. We know y'all vultures out there.
Exactly. All right, so yeah, for the next topic, we talked about social medias. So yeah, at this point in time, we might have social media accounts that I am not aware of. How do you say, Are.dot? Do we have anything officially?
You didn't pay for the Patreon, so I can't even disclose this information.
How I'm in there. Right.
Y'all didn't donate yet? Y'all should have been donated.
The number one.
Doing it, bruh. All right, so
That balance looking mighty weak from you.
first of all, we don't have a Patreon. Second of all, we will create an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Twitter. I say Facebook. Do we need a Facebook? Like, is Facebook really legit like that? Like, do we have? Because I don't want anyone to feel compelled to like have to manage all of them all the time, right? Because I feel like that's where it gets.
I don't even like Zuckerberg like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Facts. It'd be too many conspiracy theories chilling on Facebook. Is the weirdos be on Facebook,
Yeah.
bro?
For sure.
I'm good on that.
Only if we were streaming. So like if our Twitch stream and like just our streaming period was like really founded. Facebook can't come into place for that because you can just stream the Facebook gaming whatever too. But I'm not a laundry repairman or like that, so I really don't need a Facebook business page.
I feel you. So I really feel like it's kind of meaningless at this point for right now. I think Twitter is the main thing that we do need, of course. Like you need a Twitter and just kind of repost your stuff, pop up in the other stuff and repost their stuff. So I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. IG, like it can kind of work more for the Village 285 aspect of things, maybe not so much dedicated to the podcast, but it can of course reflect, you know, hey, new upload, new pod coming in, we recording now. You know, you can do the behind the scenes stuff if you want to do that. So I feel like that may be, those two for sure are better in terms of what I think our values are. But Facebook for right now just seems like a little bit more involved than I think it would have to be, without any beneficial return. You know, like it's Facebook. Like if you care, you care. If you don't, you really don't. And I don't think a lot of people care anymore.
I can agree.
Yeah. All right, so we shall create the Twitter and we shall create the Instagram. Yeah, we are blowing through these.
What's the other one?
I definitely think the IG.
Disregard that.
Okay. But I do think the IG definitely goes with the merch and cool stuff that's been cool ideas that have been popped into our private idea boards.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll definitely be a nice place to show some of that stuff off, because if anything, like the merch looks excellent, and if we can get that make some stuff from that too,
Yeah.
that'll be very nice.
Yeah. And I mean, it's IG. I mean, what do we all scroll through at various points in life to get depressed? Instagram.
Fuck.
So yeah.
Fuck.
Okay.
Nah.
I mean, hey, just know if we get to a certain point, your boy gonna start getting some IG models, and then we're gonna be professional with it, you know.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah.
Professional.
Not not the
Yeah.
green screen. Not the green
No,
screen
no.
bodies for the green.
We're out here.
Shots. There we go.
Yeah.
We got all kind of merch for you guys.
Oh. I don't like how that last one sounded. We got all types of merch. All right. Before this gets any deeper, so let's talk about the content. So between contents and streaming, how we want to do this. So first of all, we talked about group streams in the past. We've never successfully done a group stream together that's been recorded. So how do we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there are people who play games together online and they record it. Now, it's funny because for me, kind of like my interactions with that from watching YouTube videos is that, you know, one primary person is recording their vantage point, right? Like, if we're playing Among Us, like, he's recording his portion of him playing Among Us and may edit in other people's crazy reactions at times, but can y'all still hear me? We good? Y'all can hear me, right?
Uh-oh.
Wait. Am I here? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Now I can.
Oh, it did.
Yep.
Okay, my computer did freeze for some reason.
Now I can.
So, yeah, it was like, you know, one person will, like, be playing the game from their own vantage point. The other person's, you know, they're playing too, and they may be recording too, and then you use each other's footage to kind of make a whole thing. So, what if we were to play like a game like Among Us or something like that? How do you think we all could do that? You know, or would it be from everyone? Could everyone be up to spec in an easy way? I know some people have potato computers, which is fine. You know what I mean? You can't just expect people to just already have the high quality stuff. So that's cool. But if we were to do like group stream / content type stuff, what's some ideas? I don't know.
We could get creative with it. But Jordan, what were you about to say?
I was gonna say I know part of it could be the audio thing, because I know I feel like it'd be a little bit easier, for some people to just record themselves talking while whatever's happening, especially depending on what we're using. Like PlayStation already has a built-in like recording function, and we could probably. I don't know how well it would work to just rip their vocals from that. But I know that could work. Just having their vocals there, or even if we do just have like a singular person who probably has the best running PC or just a good enough setup to be able to have it, whether that be just one person or two or three, and then we can maybe switch between their vantage points. I know it's definitely not the easiest thing to navigate when not everyone has the proper tech. Me being one of them, recording stuff is not the easiest thing on this laptop.
Yeah.
Don't belittle yourself. Believe in yourself. No, I agree. I thought you would have mentioned or like even how I got hyped off of Among Us was when you shared the Mr. Fruit video. And so even though it's a whole squad of them, a whole team of them, and I guess like maybe like 3 of them do upload, or it's like 4 of them, but more than half of them do upload. But for the most part, it's really just like Fruit who's the biggest one out of it. And even then, what you just get from the one recording is just big enough. Like he'll have like less than 2 or 3 other snippets from the other people's streams who are playing Among Us. And so it's cool. Like, so those who are able to record, of course, the more the merrier. Yeah, it depends.
So
as long as we have one, that's cool.
A lot easier, right? Like if it's just one person, and I use Among Us because it's kind of like,
yeah,
it in and of itself is something either you're watching literally everyone play or you're literally watching one person. So yeah, if all 6 of us could record it, cool. But if we can't, we can still have a good time. It's literally like, I mean, I feel like as long as there's a way to record Discord audio straight up, like everyone talking at the same time, then cool. And
back to Craig.
Yeah, so I believe that's possible, obviously, with Craig or OBS maybe or something like that. So as long as we can have that, that'll be good. Because I know last time when I recorded, this is again when I was just tinkering with stuff myself. So I'm not a pro at this, but I got my audio. I didn't get anyone else's audio, so the video didn't come out worth anything really, right? So yeah. But I do think that's one thing. And then two, just this kind of a random thought that kind of popped up in my head, right? So like I have a Twitch channel. I've had a Twitch channel for years just to follow people and subscribe and do my own thing on there, not to really do much for myself.
Shameless plug.
No, not at all. Because I don't plan on like, just using it, right? But I do feel like, so again, I revert back to Easy Allies a lot because these are the people that I watch. But I also think about Game Explain as well. And Game Explain has been going through some headlines. If y'all been paying attention, I don't know if y'all really care that much. But anyway, what I've noticed about Easy Allies is that they stream under the Easy Allies banner, right? Like there is no individual channels for each guy in the crew. As far as I know, they don't have their own Twitch channels that they do their own stuff on. Most times they just, if they're going to play a game, they play it under there. And they like dedicate certain time slots to who's going to play what, when, and all that type of stuff. Or when they do group stuff, everything kind of just is under that one umbrella. And it keeps things consistent, I think, for them. And then too, that helps with like your subscriptions too. People coming to watch your crew on Twitch, whether it be, like all y'all or just one of y'all or whatever, they come there, and then if people subscribe, you still divvy that up between the squad all the same, instead of it being like one of us is on Twitch at the moment, and then the other one of us is like playing off on the other side. Now, from the Game Explain side of things, right? It's funny because like dude got locked into a contract where he just, and again, this is me just reading the story, so I'm not 100% accurate, don't quote me, but like basically from my understanding, one of the mans was trying to use his own Twitch instead of the Game Explain Twitch, and the owner of Game Explain was like, nah, I prefer you use the Game Explain stuff because that brings the revenue to all of us instead of just strictly to you, which that could be kind of messy, right? Like I don't want to force anyone or make anyone feel uncomfortable to like stream on Twitch if they ever want to in the future. It's not like what any of us really do right now. So for right now, say for instance, if we did want to get into the streams of individual type stuff, the Let's Plays, whatever's, right? Like, Chill wants to hop on with his boys and play some Rocket League. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, should he do that under Chill's Twitch? Should he do that under Player 2's Twitch? Like, what do y'all think? Because I personally feel like we should probably keep it in-house. That makes sense to me. But what y'all feel?
I'll let Chill speak first because we're talking about him as the example.
Yeah.
I don't mind being under the one banner. I think
Good
all
answer,
of
good
us
answer.
here. I think all of us here are honest people. I don't think there's much a risk of like. I feel like the big risk for certain people when it comes to doing things under one banner is that somebody's going to try to take more than is asked or more than they deserved or more than they worked for. I don't think that's ever going to be the case with us, or I hope not. If not, I will invest in a machete or a shotgun or something like that. We'll figure it out. Exactly. Well, we gonna get this settled.
we're gonna solve it. We're gonna solve it.
Exactly. But no, I don't think that's ever gonna be an issue for us. So I wouldn't mind having it all under one because that does, to me, it brings in more people to the overall, which is more important at this moment.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just doing it by myself, of course I can do that, but it's gonna be more attention on me than on the group.
Right.
And I'd rather have most of the attention be on the group than individual. Like individual will come down the line, but groups are more important for now to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a force, and I guess it can complete my thought with we're saying how creative we want to be, like even with the streaming. So even like if it's the Among Us, if we were having multiple people record, um, ultimately it couldn't be like how creative we're trying to be with the end result of the content. Um, so if we were trying to divvy up anything, if everyone was trying to do their own like not fan base, but trying to do their own other thing underneath our overall umbrella, or I guess in this case it'd be player twos. It would depend on how we do plan it out. But anyway, even at this time, is like even how it looks. No one's trying. Us doing a group thing doesn't interfere with anyone's personal stuff at the moment. And then even more so, like how it looks between all of us, like because we are boys at the end of the day. It's that whole now I'm trying to jump ship. I'm trying to get my own personal back, or y'all holding me back because I'm the real superstar, and you're not Justin Timberlake because I am. It's like I don't. That's not. I don't see it as like a relevant thing for us at the time. So.
But no, and so okay, I'm glad we're kind of on the same page. Yeah, because it feels like I look at like yo video games as one example, right? Like to me, the face of yo video games is Maximilian. And no disrespect to anyone else on that crew, but I know Max because of Max, and I just hear him talk about yo video games, and I sometimes watch some of their stuff together or hear their reactions together. But mainly, I'm just there for Max, and that's cool. Like I think they're cool with that. That's how they operate, and it is what it is. Like literally, Max has like over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Yo video games has maybe 254,000, right? So it's a large difference, but they all probably are eating. And I feel like Max is probably, I don't know, I can't speak to his business practices 100% sure, but he seems like a good dude. He seems like he would be sharing that with the crew. Like I don't think Max would be like, yeah, whatever I just make on my channel is just for me. I mean, he could do that. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like that's the kind of relationship that they have. It seems like it's all kind of inclusive. Whereas, you know, I look at cats like RDC World 1, and it's like, yo, we built this together, we end this together. This just is what it is. And I like that vibe, you know, without really having to, I guess it just feels like that could be stressful at the end of the day, right? One of y'all start popping super heavy and you have your own thing going, so folks is over there with you, but y'all all trying to come up at the same time. It just could be weird, you know? And I don't think this as a project in and of itself, just between homies who want to have fun and put their version of fun out there for the world to see, shouldn't just be like anything that makes us become weird to one another at all, like ever. And I mean, it's no money. Like, I've invested money into this that y'all don't know the amounts of, and that's okay. Like I'm never gonna tell you. You never have to know, right? Like it just is what it is. Because I want to have fun with this. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the part that I just never wanted to go south, you know, and I don't think it would ever really, you know, but I think it's good to at least talk about it so we know that type of stuff now before it just, you know, happens by happenstance and then all of a sudden, oh, then we got to discuss it, you know? So.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that going into, especially the yo video games, I think the main thing that kind of helps with their situation, like we already mentioned, is that they're all friends. Like outside of this, I don't think that they're gonna allow stuff on YouTube or this business side of stuff to kind of break that friendship, which is unfortunately a problem that's happened with certain people, and it's definitely well documented. Like you look at the creatures and all of them, you see how that went. You see how other groups and stuff. Yeah, man, Game Grumps. See how a lot of different stuff kind of breaks down over whatever money. Some of it could just be other topics. But I think
don't none of y'all be nasty.
Exactly.
No time for nasty men.
Facts. Actually, but I think it just comes down to us having to hold each other accountable and having to be honest with each other. Like this conversation is very necessary, because it kind of helps to weed out all of the extra foolishness, or it's that first barrier that we can put between a lot of foolishness.
For sure, I agree. Smooth. All right, so We keep it all in the same house.
I was stuck on the nasty part. Sorry.
All right, all right. Okay, so let's talk about
Joke.
the upload schedules. So, my wife has been watching a lot of YouTubers. That's just what she does. Be it like hair stuff or product reviews, just personalities doing their vlogging or whatever. And so it's been interesting, like her doing her little thing throughout quarantine and seeing kind of like the transformation of some of these people's channels, right? Like, you know, a lot of them started off smaller than what they are now. And it's kind of cool to see, like, you know, so much growth, right? That happened, that they were able to take advantage of. Now, I may not like these personalities that you look at or whatever, but there is something to say about the consistency of what they did and where they are now, right? So one of the things that she's been able to even perceive for herself is folks who do multiple uploads a week typically stay more engaged with their audience and vice versa. Now, podcasts are podcasts. You know, you don't want to flood the world with podcasts, right? And we don't have time to flood the world with podcasts. We have lives. It takes enough to, you know, just get the once a month. And I think that's cool because literally it's pretty much twice a month now we do the game podcast, we do the anime podcast. There may be more podcasts in the future, not to limit ourselves, but you know, we've dedicated that time to do so. But as individuals, you know, we all have free time here or there that can be used in various ways. And a lot of us play games, right? That's the whole thing. You know, that's what we came here for. So, as far as like, you know, anything from like Let's Plays to like your own personal reviews to, you know, just little fun side stuff that you want to do that you think would be well on the channel. Like, I think we all have the ability to come up with, you know, little silly stuff. It don't have to be long. It don't have to be excessive, or it don't have to be detailed. Like, it could just be goofy stuff, right? If we feel like it's good content, we can utilize it. So just from that, like when it comes to the consistency aspect, twice a week was a good average from what I've been hearing and from what my wife has been hearing about, like, you know, keeping a upload schedule, right? So twice a week. And so at first it's like, dang, you know, we do a podcast and, you know, that takes multiple people, that takes multiple scheduling and everything like that. But, you know, I look at some of these other podcasts, you know, JBP, not necessarily Easy Allies for that. Like I don't think they usually take stuff out of their podcast and have like snippets of it. But I know JBP does that for sure. I'm sure there are other podcasts for sure that do that as well. Where like, you know, hey, you put a lot of effort into making, you know, 2 hours of content, but for us, especially being like brand new, they come to the YouTube channel and like, all these videos are dumb long. I don't want to watch none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like it'll be cool to maybe have like highlights that could take place for some of those videos, not to replace them completely, right? But to pull that type of information from it, maybe like some key points, or we can go back, like Are.dot mentioned earlier. You know, we have a 5-hour video as like our first video that we ever uploaded, and it granted as our first podcast. So I mean, I think it should be okay to do that. But then at the same time, it's like, you know, we can do a recap of 2020, like how we started, and maybe just chop that up into like 10 minutes, you know, if that, you know, who knows, like as far as like pivotal content that would pique interest and then just kind of keep it moving. So as far as that, do y'all think that's reasonable? Maybe like, and granted, like maybe twice a week starting out right now when we barely do twice a month could be a big ask, but do you think maybe like a once a week thing? Do you think that's feasible? Like if we really like looked at all of our options when it came to our own individual ways that we could do content, taking content from stuff that we've already done and just maybe condensing it. Do y'all think that could be something that we could do? Do you have any ideas about stuff that you would want to do? I think Are.dot's on the mute right now, so it's on you, Chili.
Oh, okay. Cool. I definitely like the highlight idea because that even works with like having the socials involved. You can put up little snippets and stuff, and that kind of will attract people to the main video. I mean, like I said, content wise, I think if we already kind of have the schedule for the podcast that we're still ironing out and making sure it's like consistent. But I feel like it's going to be pretty consistent from at least this point on. But the recording schedule is going to be like that added extra layer. And I think if we start out like maybe on the smaller end, like, it doesn't have to be like a weekly. We're going to try to do something. If we can do it, where we can try to record something weekly or even a couple times a week, then that'd be awesome. But I think once we get that recording studio, I think the content will be a whole lot easier. For me, I'm down to record really like any type of content. I know I've brought this up probably the last time we were talking about it, but man, I got PlayStation Now. I got all these games that I haven't finished or that I haven't beat, or that I even just want to go back and re-experience if I never got a chance to play it, or if it's just been a long time since I've played it. And I wouldn't mind having like, retro replays or doing reviews and stuff. I don't mind doing reviews for new games because I do have like a very broad kind of broad taste in games and what I feel like playing. So it's like, I definitely wouldn't mind doing the reviews and then having like content recorded from what I'm playing. I mean, it just depends really on what exactly we want to put up at first. Because from jump, we could start off with the Let's Plays from jump, but I don't know how many people would watch the Let's Plays from jump.
Right. Yeah.
So even if like from the start of it, we just begin with doing like maybe some highlight videos from stuff that we come through with. So like me, I've been wanting to pop up for a while, trying to go back and do the Destiny stuff. Because even because even Destiny, there's a whole lot of clarity that we were just doing Leviathan.
Yeah.
So it's like we could just run through, what is it, last Wish, since you still need to do that one. And that's a ton of content in just like the first the first part of it. Like that's how I feel that is. And there's a lot of content that's like that, where it's just you can record like a whole maybe hour and a half, 2 hours, and get multiple different video clips out of it. Get a whole different a whole bunch of clips that you can put into a montage or whatever. So I think it just starts off with finding the right stuff to record with initially, because once that stuff pops off, I think the Let's Plays will be a whole lot easier to get going and get traction with if we were to go in that direction.
I think it makes room for like double dipping too, right? Like you can throw it up on Twitch at the same time in real time when it's happening, and you can pull. You can have a recording at the same time while the Twitch is going. You can pull I don't know if you get a VOD permission like as soon as you start going. I'm not sure how that works with Twitch, but anyway, Twitch has VODs basically, so you can use those at some point in time. Definitely like with if you locally just record it, but you have it streaming on Twitch at the same time, it's double duty, right? So you get the free views potentially on Twitch while it's happening. You can chop it up and do kind of like the better treatment of it for YouTube purposes later on. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I do agree. And so I guess even going back to the initial question, it's not even so for us to drop a video weekly or even 2 videos weekly, we don't have to record weekly.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the beauty behind all of it. And even if we are even taking that a step further, not all of us have to record weekly. Exactly. So if someone was, it just end up being like it still can average out to I still only record it once a month. So
exactly.
And so it's still, and we can still be in abundance instead of in a deficit. And so it's like it's definitely doable. We mentioned it before. And we were supposed to do that with you hinted at the field recording, and that was with the Destiny stuff. And so we did try that. We've been trying the Among Us here and there, but we haven't got to be able to do that as a group yet recently. Yeah, but it's definitely more than doable. I think the podcast highlights alone could definitely run stuff. Um, there's always still random news all the time, and so whether we're doing a formal news outlet or if we're doing some funny mention on news, that's easily a video there. So it's like from the normal stuff that we do every month, and we when we record it once a month, we can easily get at least 2 videos a week. And then all the stuff that just happens with time, whether it's news or a new game drop, or just a crazy mention, or even just a random idea that we come up with, we could easily add even more than 2 videos a week.
And I think I think you made a good point too with the whole news stuff because there's always something happening. It seems like weekly, sometimes daily, in just video games. And of course, I could add this stuff to podcasts, but then the podcast would once again be about 5 hours long. And sometimes by the time it comes around for the podcast to happen, that news will have been old and it would
That's true. That's true.
kind of run its course. So like even the Xbox thing, I can add that. That's great. But say if we did that like 2 weeks from now, like at that point it's kind of like, who really cares now?
It's already been
But
resolved.
it's still
Like,
current.
they
But
went back in
yeah,
and said that we're gonna make free to play games free actually on Xbox Live, and they're not gonna up the price now. So they already like fixed the problem. So it's like it was newsworthy. Now it's not newsworthy. You know what I'm saying? Well, not. I mean, you can talk about it, but like it's not gonna be as huge of a reaction. So yeah, like you said, the news cycle for video games is pretty fast. Like that's one of the reasons why I started like on N4G News for Gamers, and that was like years and years ago. Found out about NeoGAF, went to NeoGAF. NeoGAF imploded, and then I started going to Reset Era. So, just like my news comes from like the freshest places right then and there because they kind of like aggregate so much stuff within a few, posts. You can be up to date, but then like it's just such a flood of information. You're always constantly refreshing and finding new stuff. So that does make sense. Maybe like if you did want to approach it like that, someone could just like say, hey, once or twice a week. Gaming update for the month before we even get to the podcast, to like the actual major topics or just stuff we want to talk about. So yeah, that's a cool idea. Cool. I did have an idea, and then I said maybe I probably shouldn't say this on the YouTube video since this is gonna be uploaded, but I don't want to take the steez or nothing like that. But I'll talk to you.
We got lawyers, y'all.
I mean, we already showing something else after this. So I mean, if you want to skip over that,
yeah.
I'm fine with keeping that on the DL.
For sure. All right. So we spent a bulk of the conversation talking about the gaming pod because that is what we're founded on, being kind of nerdy dudes that like video games. But Village 285 again is the umbrella, right? So. We have
bread and butter.
We have multiple things to pull from that aren't video game specific. Hence why I think the anime pod is a good idea, even though you can easily shift that over to one way, as far as like gaming and stuff like that. But culturally, I think it still represents a lot from our backgrounds and where we come from, right? And so I think Atlanta anime have a thing. I've always had some ideas about that, and it's good to see we've had more recent movements within the past couple of years to support that, like Controllerize and stuff like that.
How did I forget about that already? It's crazy. We've been in the house way too long, by the way.
Too long. Yeah, they're trying to do some stuff on Instagram with like some beats, but I have ideas about them too. Like I foresee a Village 285 and Controllerize union of some sort. But hey, I mean, who am I? I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just me.
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations about Controllerize.
That would be sick though.
Hey man.
I'm gonna let you continue because I feel like you're going in the direction of something that I just thought about. So I'm gonna let you keep going. Keep going.
Right, So I just feel like branding wise, right? We have our video game aspect, we have our anime aspect. We can venture forth, and when it comes to again creating content for the channel, right? It does not have to be excessive in the sense of like we have to like think about this stuff like heavy. You want it to be good, you want it to be quality, but the city of Atlanta, right? Where we come from, can kind of give you that off rip. You know what I'm saying? We have landmarks here that people want to see. You know, we have art here that people want to see. We got food here that people want to see. And of course, with COVID, we want to be safe with all of that.
We got hospitals here that people want to see.
You do not. Y'all don't want to see the hospitals.
I don't want to see the hospital, bro.
Dying,
Not right
you
now.
want to get your life saved. That's one thing. But hopefully none of us are trying to die. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I think we have lots of opportunity to show the reason why 285, that whole concept, is something that can work. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel? And you don't have to go into like ideas, like I say, you know, if you don't want to really express that on air, I understand. But the vibe of that type of, you know, thinking, is that something that you think is reasonable?
I thought you were still in the middle of your thought. I thought you was about to go somewhere.
Oh, well, I mean, so I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
not the juicy bit.
Oh, okay.
But I thought, like, even in general, like topic wise, I thought you were trying to lean it somewhere else.
Okay, well, so in the sense of like, you know, we're talking about like the content stream, right? We're talking about being able to produce content, make stuff, right? So I don't want to be one of them weirdos that just walks around with a GoPro strapped on his head and just, you know, shows off everything. Unless I'm on a motorcycle, but I don't ride motorcycles. Somebody in this chat does.
Somebody does, though.
Somebody in this chat does that, though. I don't know their names. They got a shot in their head right now. But yeah, you know, so it's like
that's still offensive shade. Like, I don't care how you broached it. That was offensive.
So
I mean, my god,
you know, but the camera can be on site. You know, today I went to the food truck spot. You know what I'm saying? I got you know, some good stuff. You know, I could have, you know, shown some of that process or whatever. And I mean, that just would have been natural, right? It still shows the city. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going out of my way to do anything. Again, speaking about quarantine, you know, I encourage everyone to be safe. Wear a mask, wash your hands, don't do anything excessive and dangerous for no reason. You know, so, but at the same time, like, if you're solo dolo, or just you and your partner, and y'all want to go see some stuff in the city at the park or like whatever, and you social distance, and you can kind of keep that where you want to, then cool. You know, take some pictures of some artwork. You know what I'm saying? Throw that on the channel. Put some little VO behind it. That's easy. That's like easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, record that food from the food truck. Give them a rep. You know what I'm saying? That's easy. So to me, those type of things I feel like can just also be placed on the channel without much, you know, extensive work. We ain't gotta put a whole camera crew out there. We can't afford a camera crew. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we not doing that. But it's the smaller type of things that can, again, not only put our personalities out there and just show off, you know, who we are, but expose people to the city. Because I think, you know, right now we're very insular, and that's okay when you're just first starting off. Like, again, this is just like a little fun project for us, but it's like, you know, we've sent our videos to our homies, right? Those are probably the main views that we get are from more than likely friends or family, and that's cool. But if you ever wanted to organically start to grow, how do you do that? And that's without like aggressive promoting when we don't really have like, I wouldn't say like the top tier stuff that we should just promote. And like what if you get like 100,000 people coming to our channel right now? What do we have to show them? You know, like it's alright. It's alright. You know what I'm saying? We can probably keep like a few of y'all around and show y'all a good time. But like for the other folks, they're gonna be like, they ain't got nothing, you know, and that's cool. We don't. So how do we naturally get that progression to like kick off? And I feel like showing the city off, since it fits under the same umbrella of the concept of the idea that we initially started off in the first place, I think that all will go hand in hand. So I think that's what my full point was. So yeah, now with that being said,
I
how
got
do
you.
I feel about it?
Nice. So for clarification, I didn't know that was the route you were gonna go. And even when you mentioned the GoPro joke, I was gonna make the joke about that, but you actually were talking about me from the joke. Anyway, I'm not. Of course, I love the idea, but of course, I'm still trying to. It'll be nice to have that aha moment where it exapts any sense of clichéness or corniness from it. And so, of course, that's what I'm still trying to piece together mentally before I even brought the idea up. But it would be, of course, there'd still be love off rip just doing it. It'd be great. Even if we did have multiple cameos, or like me even seeing the invite, or you got mentioned invite to you guys to just walk by such and such, we could still do cameos or pop-ups in these random videos without really doing nothing crazy socially unacceptable. And so and like like I said, that's even more so like the stuff that comes up with not having to do too much work in the midst of things. Or even more so, if that's even the one thing you do that month, it's not hard to take your hours of commute and chop it up into a video a week kind of thing. Like that's an easy kind of PC thing. And so, or even if I hit a spot here and then still end up eating here at this food truck, that was still all in one day's work, but that's still 2 videos on rip. And so stuff like that, I of course I'm not against it in the slightest.
Yeah.
I mean, from my standpoint, I definitely like that idea, and I'm fully for that. I've never been super big on where to go for food trucks, so I'd have to be listening to y'all, honestly. Now the art spots I love going to in downtown Atlanta, so I definitely wouldn't mind taking trips down there and kind of recording and getting some extra content from that. But my portion where I was gonna go in is I feel like for us especially, like I feel like the 3 things that are very much consistent with us is like is gonna be anime and like anime culture, gaming and gaming culture, and music culture. I think those have been the to me the big 3 things, especially when it comes to Atlanta in general. Those are 3 very big influencers in this city, whether you see it or not. Especially anime culture. Anime culture is big in this city. You may not feel it as much as you think, but it's there actively. Controller Rise is very much proof of that. So I was thinking, especially on the music side of things, I wouldn't mind doing like, you know, a random just set of stuff. Even if we can't like monetize it. Like I wouldn't mind throwing the anime inspired beats up in there, you know, or even just showcasing some music here in Atlanta, or even just showcasing musicians in Atlanta, because I know plenty of people who are here in the city that do music and are like really good at it. You know, there happens to be 2 people in this call who are musically inclined. Can I say that? Is musically inclined the right word for it?
A little producer, some productions.
Music inclined could be a word.
Music stepping up.
Musically inclined could be a word.
To some strings pretty soon. Some strings might be coming my way very soon. Four of them things. The Thundercat, yeah, you know. But yeah, no, I feel like those things are very major, and if we can put those, especially under the Village moniker, this whole banner, I think that'll be an even more fun thing to showcase, but another way to bring people in, because I think that kind of culture is just fun to get into and fun to explore. Like we've already started the gaming and the anime side of exploring that, and so I feel like if we can throw their music in there in some form or fashion, and if we can throw parts of the city in there in some form or fashion to kind of even more show off how great it is to be in the city and how just experience Atlanta itself, I think that'll all kind of help into going into this whole thing that we're building, you know, and not just kind of bottlenecking us into one area of life.
Yeah. That's cool. I feel all that, and I feel like it's, to me it helps future proof us in a way, right? Like from the art aspect, especially from like the music aspect, for when we talk about controllerize and stuff like that, you know, there are people behind all of this stuff, right? And I don't know if y'all know anything about the South. Speaking to the audience, you know, not us, because we all know. But like the South is comfortable, man. Like we kind of show love all the time to like everyone. It's always easy to kind of link and build and throw a conversation up in the air and just like talk to a cat for like 5-10 minutes about whatever if you want to. Now you can be standoffish too. I mean, it is what it is. But like, people are very accessible, and open to conversation because everything's very, very, very laid back and relaxed for the most part, as long as you staying out of trouble. And we're not looking for nothing.
Exactly.
So I think we keep things extra chill, keep it smooth, and then it naturally will help us to be able to maybe make those opportunities even more reliable in the future, where it could be, hey, we name dropping stuff right now and idea concepting right now, but it could be, hey, that artwork that you see in the video may be someone who we can interview as an artist, right? We could talk to them specifically. We could talk to these people that make all these beats that are the foundation, behind Controllerize, and talk to Stolen Drums or something like that. Like that to me would be amazing, just to kind of be able to include that presence on our channel in some type of form or fashion, and it be something that we both kind of have love for. And again, this is just we babies in the game at the moment, right? But we got dreams. And so
it's real.
Yeah, behind that, like, it's good to already have those type of aspects queued up. But I like being able to kind of have, some type of trifecta of things to be interested in, right? And I mean, I think lifestyle is the overall thing. Like Village 285 is the lifestyle, right? It's what we do. It's our culture. But inside of that, as a microcosm, you have the anime stuff, you have the game stuff, you have the music, and I mean, food is everyone's culture. So like you don't have to work hard for that one, right? Like it just kind of is what it is. But
yeah.
So okay, cool. Like I mean, I think that type of thinking is good, and I think it's one of those things too that it'll be a good motivator because it's 6 of us, right? 3 of us talk often about these things. Like we kind of try and really plan this stuff out, and the other 3 kind of just hop on and take it where they want to when we do the podcast and everything like that. But I think over time, if they see, potentially anyway, and it's not the expectation, but it's just putting it out there, like if they start seeing some type of commonality with the things that we do, and they want to hop in and do their own things too, or because we all live on different sides of town, which makes it kind of even more dope because I don't know everything about where everybody's from, even from in here, so like if they got their own spots that they frequent and that they want to flex on right quick, then cool. Like like again, it's ways to continue that process of building content, and hopefully with COVID, if it ever does decide to fully reside and it is safe to like actually get together, link up and do our thing, like the world is ours at that point. Like it would be super easy to like get so much good stuff to y'all. We could do tournaments, we could do everything like right there in person. That's just like just seeing everyone in the room is going to be different, but like right now we're practicing safety, that we care about our lives, we care about our health, so we're not going to go out of our way to do anything excessive to put that in at risk. But yeah, while we can do what we can, through YouTube and in that realm of safety, I think it is, good to think about. So it sounds like we all have some ideas about that. We'll talk more about that soon. Let's see here. Sports. EA Sports. Was that very accurate? Would y'all say I have a good EA Sports voice?
You need a bassy for the big.
Putting the big out there is crazy. All right, so yeah, I mean, now y'all two talk about sports. I'm not a sports guy. You know what I'm saying? My favorite sport is tennis. You know what I mean?
Sports talk, go.
So I'm gonna just.
I mean, tennis.
Tennis
Is great though. Tennis is great though.
Tennis is amazing.
I'm gonna just put that out there, man.
New episode dropping on Super Bowl Sunday though. We're gonna start a tennis podcast on Super Bowl day.
I ride around with the racket. That's the name of the segment.
Racket talk.
I mean, when it comes to the sports thing, I just enjoy all of this stuff outside of it because Atlanta teams historically are freaking poop. Outside of our baseball team, that's about the only team that's like semi-solid.
I don't know what our soccer team doing right now.
Yeah. Our soccer team was solid at one point. I don't know what they look like.
1,000%. I don't know what they doing right now.
That football team is poop. Our NBA team is looking better, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. We ain't getting to no final. We ain't getting no championship anytime soon. But we not poop though.
That's good. They're enjoyable.
Exactly. They're enjoyable to watch. So it's like I like watching this from an outside perspective as a fan of a lot of these sports, especially basketball and football. But I am a fan of watching like other stuff. I'm not super big on baseball, but I dabble every now and then. I know a couple names.
I'm gonna hop out right quick. I'm still here, but I'm gonna just be off camera right quick. So I'll be back.
Oh yeah, no, do your thing.
Right, let's get into the real sports talk now, Jordan.
Oh, bet.
That nigga Brady Wilder right now, bro.
We call him Brady the GOAT?
Is he not top five?
But no, I think
No, speaking of though, let me check this. I'm gonna sound very. I'll got highlight of where I am. I'm not sure if Tampa really did win, so I really need to look that up right now.
Oh no, they did. Yeah, that man Brady going to another Super Bowl.
That really is the conference.
That is.
And the Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Okay, yo. So learn something today.
I mean, if anything, when it comes to the sports talk, of course, I love talking about it as a fan, but I also love clowning folks. So, like with the sports stuff, I feel like that's the ultimate method, just to clown people. Even though I can't do what they do, I'm gonna just clown them anyway. Just it's got to
be. Are you saying you're the donkey of the sports world?
I am the donkey of the sports world. Who would be my Super Mario brother? Who Sanchez? That's a meta y'all don't know about. I don't know about that Mark Sanchez life, bro.
That's a nasty reference to start off already.
Revis Island? Come on, man.
I really need to get this Photoshop, by the way.
Oh, you don't. Oh, you planning.
I'm just going through the list. Oh my god.
But how many people in our group actual like up with sports outside of us two?
Jew?
Okay.
Out of the 6, yeah, Jew. And again, I repeat, you just saw my level of up to dateness on sport. Y'all saw my my degree of sportsness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we got Silk and Brando does it just somewhat. That's about it. Brando just be in the street, so he
yeah. I don't feel like we have enough people. Unless I was to bring in my homies who are like sports people. Unless we were to bring in like some extra outside people, I don't know if I'd want to dedicate a whole podcast to the sports talk. Right now, at least.
Yeah. I'm definitely never against the con for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little segment. You know, just maybe recapping something, or even talking about some sports news, or how we feel about a certain team, or like even with basketball, like that's very easy to start looking, especially with more and more games having been played at this point, to start looking at some early favorites and talking about some teams and stuff. Like, it's easy, you know. But I don't know if we'd be able to do a full-on podcast with it though.
Yeah, no, I agree. abundantly. There's some videos here and there, but that's about it.
Hey, as long as we talk about how Sanchez and Antonio were. Okay, my bad. Let's talk about Colt McCoy being he was supposed to be the poster child at one point for the Browns.
But
I don't know where he's at. I don't recognize him. He's actually in Madden too, by the way. He's rated to 62.
really?
Yes.
Hey, wait.
The new one, 21. I saw him in free agency. Ain't nobody picked that man up.
That's crazy. Speaking of, it's kind of off topic, but that remind me of the a pod that I can kind of appreciate has been J Reddix.
Oh yeah, I have seen some clips from his.
Yeah, so him. Yeah, so same here. I got introduced from some of the clips, but he's doing it during the bubble, but even during the season still now.
Mm-hmm.
He's still doing a full pod with actual NBA players who are also and are playing or just recently stopped playing. Anyway, so remind me of the one that he did with Markelle Fultz, and them actually even doing like the deep dive on how everything was in Philly for him and how things were and yada yada yada. And I definitely appreciate stuff like that. That's kind of crazy insight. Even the deal with KD, I think it's right after the bubble or during the bubble. The bubble was like wrapping up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the insight on that was like kind of crazy. Because we usually don't get it here too many. Well, Markelle, that's it. Like, but we had like controversial times up and down. It was kind of, yeah, but you talking about someone who's on 62 overall made me think of Markelle Fultz. And I appreciate it.
Oh man.
Yeah. But even with sports though, and I don't want to call it cliche because I still appreciate it, but even Japan Man mentioning it as a lifestyle as far as the Village 20 umbrella, I feel like the sports will fall right underneath that as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
They always go hand in hand with everything else. They definitely go hand in hand with video games and music and stuff like that on rip. So it's like sports are always kind of like a topic of conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
And just wish it wasn't as flooded. So we can just have some regular content with it.
That's true. This the sports discussion area is one of those places that's super huge, and it covers like any sport that you could have a discussion about. There's definitely one there.
Exactly. Unless it's like Minecraft football or something like that.
Yeah.
But then that changes. that changes the topic. What about esports though?
Esports would be a bad place too. I have quite a bit of it too, especially like overall stuff. Try to watch League, but as someone who doesn't know like everybody in League, like I played a little bit of it, but I don't know enough of it about every character. It'd be hard for me to explain anything that's happening.
League's kind of tough, man. League's tough.
Yeah. It's like I don't know the character abilities and stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know how to explain all of that stuff. I can tell you how a natural game would go, but that's easy. I mean, Rocket League is always like that's easy. Another one. Esports is another. That's like another great place we could have a discussion about.
Yeah.
Esports, man. Esports be exciting, man. Some people don't like
Oh,
that.
for sure.
Esports out there.
And there's always so many of them, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, that's something that, regardless of the time, regardless of the tides, it's always been going on. I mean, of course, some have ramped down. So even, I mean, shoot, it's king, but it's still like I still go like dark esports, even though it's like a big one, but I am big, so 100,000 tournaments on the line, given the pandemic, and it was like, yeah, esports has definitely have continued on regardless, and it do be exciting, like you said.
Do they still have CSGO still a very big esport?
Yep, still very much so. Still bigger than a lot of other ones.
True.
I think Valorant has become a higher rated or a more preferred, but even with that, like CS:GO and Overwatch is still dwarfing. They're dwarfing the more current big name titles.
Yeah. That is something I want to play. Whenever we get to the gear section of things, Valorant is on my list of many things to play with that.
I'll be right there with you. I would appreciate that. I could have been there, but yeah.
Oh, you didn't.
I hope my patience with it.
You didn't want to step into the fire yet. You didn't want to get cussed out by who? What's the biggest market that plays Valorant? We're talking about Chinese kids, Korean kids.
What was it? Europeans.
The Europeans. Okay, did you not want to get cussed out in German?
In Swedish? Nah. I don't like the up and down tones of the voice. Nah, I can't do that.
Exactly. If it's league,
I don't know.
I was gonna say if it's league, you'll probably get cussed out by Koreans.
Oh no, 1,000%. No, go back to StarCraft. 1,000%. But now, especially since it went free, it's crazy what happened. There's a huge wave of Spanish speakers. So it's mad cats mad Mexican cats, mad Central America cats who jumped on once it went free to play.
What are we talking about? Esports with StarCraft?
Yeah. Talking about esports in general.
Yeah, I don't know how much of our conversation you heard at all.
I ain't heard nothing. I was gone.
Okay, go back. Yeah, people vibe. They get the juiciness.
Do I need
so we were talking about. No, not really. It was a nice conversation. You know, we were talking about Mark Sanchez and
a lot of praise.
Oh my god, it's hilarious because that man was garbage. But no, we were talking about how the sports podcast wouldn't be the main thing we'd go after, just because I don't think we have enough people in our group that would like sustain a good conversation. Outside of like myself and even Remy and even us, we don't like we keep up, but we're never like on the second with every single thing that's happening. And of course, I have some other friends, especially the ones that I run with a lot that can help out with that. But that would be later on down the line. So anytime soon doing a sports podcast wouldn't be feasible right now.
Like a push come to shove kind of thing.
Yeah. But we're definitely not like opposed to having just random segments where we talk about something significant that may have happened, or just anything that's happened sports wise. That would be fine to be covered. It's like extra content that we can throw in there, you know.
Yeah, sure.
We can have the GOAT debate on whether LeBron or Jordan is the GOAT, and then get flooded with massive amounts of hatred.
Yeah, that's the first video.
If you want to do that, I mean, that's just
That's our first video.
That's how you pop
I
off
just-
for real.
Quickly. I just want to see the massive amount of butthurt fans of either side that's going to be there. I want to feed on the salt.
So does LeBron have shoes as popular as Jordan?
Heavens no.
Yeah, no. Dang.
Bro. You gotta respect the king. What is it? You got to throw the 2-3. You know what I'm saying? 2-3.
Why you trying to cut into our market already, fam? Like, let us drop our own video.
I'm gonna let you know that's at least 100 comments when we post it. That's at least
Oh,
100.
rip.
You know?
And I don't even play sports. You know what I'm saying? I probably had like maybe 3 pairs of Jordans in my life. But you know.
They got bots waiting just for stuff like that.
YouTube run the algorithm on your joint and then flag it.
LeBron slander? Alright, we're gonna recommend it to these people.
Exactly.
Y'all
Why are we
enjoy.
trending, bro?
Y'all enjoy.
Hey man. Like I say, any exposure is good exposure.
Any
True.
press is good press now.
But that's how
I'm
we
LeBron fans. I don't want that.
Man. I don't need no hives. I don't want no hives. No clicks.
Facts.
No chills, no shingles.
None of that.
Facts. There are certain conversations we just won't be had on this channel.
Exactly.
We won't. Seriously, like all jokes aside, I'm not having the basketball GOAT debate on this channel. We're not having the Goku involved power levels discussion on this channel. We barring that discussion because folks get real and reasonable. Exactly.
It's so nasty.
Rational.
It's so nasty.
Like, come on.
Like, I hated that as a kid. So it's like, as an adult with all mental faculties, it's nasty.
You gotta break it down. You be like, okay, what era Goku are you talking about? Are you talking about teenage Goku from Dragon Ball? Are you talking about Kaioken Goku? And then as soon as you throw something that should be on that level, then no, I'm talking about Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Like, what you gonna do this?
Exactly.
All right, fam. Goku versus Superman. All right, fam.
Come
It'd be
on.
like cats don't know. They just don't know the level, so they just be like saying random stuff. And I'm like, fam, y'all know Golden Age Superman is like the most broken character that's
Facts.
ever existed, fam. Like, I don't care what if you throw an anime character at him, you throw a regular character at him. It's just not gonna work. Anyway,
Why is it so cliche versus cliche?
right?
Exactly. Like, how come we can't just enjoy it? Like, I'm all for power level discussions, but let's stop bringing Goku into this. Leave him alone, man.
I would like
talking
Goku
about-
in general.
If I'm over here talking about Light Yagami being smart, I don't want to hear nobody bring up can he beat Goku though? No.
He ain't stronger than Goku,
What is
bro.
Goku's last name? We don't know it. He can't write his name in the book. Yo, that's funny. That's content. See, this is why it's good to have you.
That is fun. That's good.
That's funny.
That is actually very good.
But no, I was gonna say that's how we got on the esports discussion from random sports because esports is popping.
It's true.
It's a nice esports is a nice world over there.
Esports is different, bro. I don't know. I just when I think esports, I always think FGC. Like that's the only.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, yeah, you're a little
So,
biased into that pocket.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there used to be a show on I think G4 TV where they would play like esports type stuff. You know, it was before it was like really mainstream or whatever. But I remember like one of the deciding rounds at the end of the show was them playing like matches of Dead or Alive 3 or whatever. But it was like they would run a gamut between I think like Halo, DOA 3.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time. But so, you know, like that was like small scale stuff back then, and then now you have like huge fan bases for multiple genres. You know, Dota, LOL, Heroes of the
Dota's
Storm.
nasty.
It's a few other ones that are just kind of on the smaller scale, but they're all kind of the same. Yeah, you know, like there's so many different things. And
Does Halo of the Storm really count?
I don't know. I idea, to be honest. I just know it's based off of League of Legends, but you know, anything that Blizzard and Activision, Blizzard Activision is doing right now, it kind of all is esports to me. Like, I mean, the next Diablo might be esports, and that might be a single player game. I don't know.
Activision and Blizzard and all that is on the next podcast, bro. We're having a discussion about this.
Okay, all right.
I am severely hurt.
Yeah. I thought we was gonna get Thug. We was gonna get Thug again. I said, nah, ain't no thugs.
You know it's high for Doug.
No thugs allowed. Yeah, man. So yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, esports in and of itself, it doesn't have to be like a weekly or bi-weekly segment, maybe monthly or bi-monthly, but for sure, I think you can always put a pulse to the scene and see what's hopping off. Like, there's always new content for these games coming out. At some point, Overwatch 2 is gonna come out. You know, like it has to happen.
Oh, I will be on that.
Yeah. Cool. So then let's see. Last two things. Let's talk about our gear, right? Like what we have, what we don't have, what we need, what's more pressing. So
The public need to know about that.
I don't think it really matters at this point. It's just like giving out game, and I don't mind. But y'all tell me, I mean, if you want to lock it up, keep it under wraps. It's cool. I don't think we have any secret sauce. I think it's all the same stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I don't mind the press.
Yeah.
Press. Party don't need no press.
Can we use that as a theme song sometime?
Who gonna sing it?
Wait, well, we have to remake it.
I mean, I don't mind.
Why we need a live rendition?
I mean, I don't mind doing a live rendition. You know, Joe Budden had the ganja burn.
Oh my God.
That's true.
You know,
So happy when
rock with that.
He was trying. He tried for multiple episodes to make that a thing. Alright. So I mean the basics, right? I got a mic, you know what I mean? Bluish got a mic now, you know what I'm saying?
You indeed.
Yeti gang, you know.
Yeti.
Are.dot has everything, so we're not talking to him. This is more for like me and Bluish. Like I got lights, you know.
I got these used headphones, and I don't got nothing else here.
My laptop.
I got off-market GameCube controller.
That's disgusting.
I
I have a box GameCube controller right now. Like, do you want it?
Is it broke?
Ew.
It's not heavy GameCube, so I would know my stuff. AKA, I don't have nothing here, guys. Nobody look at me.
All right.
Because it actually is a Pro Switch controller.
Nah,
and it's off-brand.
Downstairs in his PC sex dungeon is where all the good stuff is. That's where you see a lot of parts. But yeah, I mean, my laptop is out of date to me. It does weird things like, you know, glitch out.
Talks to itself.
You know, just sometimes I guess it eats my whole recording from Riverside, and you know, it just does weird things that I don't appreciate. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to have 16 gigs of RAM. But, you know, with RAM and PCs, you can have the DDR3 RAM or you got a DDR4 RAM. Is DDR5 a thing now?
Damn, we at, what, 7, 8?
Okay, see? So, I don't dabble in these type of things. I'm not a PC gamer. But, I just know I bought a gaming laptop that I think is from 2012, 2013. And it's starting to show its age. And
He just needs a solid state. Just for the record, everyone just needs a solid state. But I digress.
I've been looking at laptops. If we get the stimmy that come through, you know, we might make laptops happen. If it don't come through, we'll just keep saving. The laptop that I've been most intrigued in is the Dell XPS 15. It seems to be the one that people are recommending as good for video editing. Not so much as like for gaming per se. Since I don't really game on my PC, it's light stuff. You know, I think it should be able to crank that out pretty solidly, at least from the reviews that I've seen.
Yo, chat. Everyone in chat, tell them what laptop you should get. Go ahead, just sound off.
I'm broke. What Dave Chappelle say? I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't be in here recommending me 3 stacks for the laptop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Chat to
Yeah,
look out for you.
I was
Comment
gonna go ahead and
section.
say, go ahead, copy you an Alienware, dog. Be basic.
see,
Be basic.
right. Get the
Nah, what's the new basic? Nah, the razor joint. Ain't that the new basic?
I heard it. See, and see, I be looking at junk and they be saying they be hype, and I be like, you know, I might do the razor, but I was like, nah. The Dell looks clean. You know, at the end of the day, I feel like it's a good overall pick. I'm not trying to do anything heavy and intensive as far as gaming. I do want to efficiently be able to edit video. So yeah, but that's just from like
There's only one machine for that, fam. There's only one machine.
if it has an Apple on it, I don't want it.
There's only one machine for that.
Scuzz. Super Scuzz. You got that for free. Actually, you stole that. To be honest.
And this nigga is mad for what?
Because you didn't give me one. What you mean? Where was you when the crew was trying to eat at the same time? I like
Eating.
fruit. Watermelons. Look. Hey, so I mean, I do see, you know, I'll need a computer at some point. I got the webcam. I look crispy on it, if I do say so myself. Yeah, got the headphones. These not going away anytime soon. So yeah, I mean, overall, as far as from a hardware perspective, like, you know, we got the consoles, we have the capture cards for the basic footage. We're not trying to do no 4K and nothing like that, you know, but that's fine. I don't think anyone's trying to push anything crazy right now. Internet wise, you know, I'm in an area where my internet's not going to be the greatest, but I think I have a decent enough upload. So I'll be interested when I start like doing Twitch streams as far as just like running content. If that comes off good, y'all will have to let me know. But yeah, I got a few more tripods to do some like single stuff. As far as like shooting, my wife wants to do some content too. So yeah, we have that in the works. But other than that, I think really the biggest thing for me is like a computer. Software wise though, you know, I use HitFilm Express 15. I think they're on 16 now for that video that
Really?
I made. And so I've heard, you know, names thrown around. I know Final Cut Pro is a very big, you know, obviously one of the top tier level joints. But what are the other stuff, other like video programs that you can use for PCs? Is it Adobe Premiere or something?
You know, as far as the most popular ones is Premiere. Premiere, Final Cut would be your biggest ones.
Okay.
The third one in the mix, even though it's a different community, is DaVinci.
Okay.
And then after that, you start getting more outlandish people. So you have Sony Vegas, and honestly, everything kind of like drops off from there. All those are like at least A and like A plus and S tier, and everything else kind of drops off and or is random from there. So even HitFilm isn't below all those.
Okay.
But there's really nothing you can't do with those.
So from a PC guy, you know, on your end, is 16 gigs enough, right? Of like, if we take say if I get like a i7 with this Dell, which is going to be a grip, you get the i7 joint with I guess the 10th gen. I think they're on 11th gen at the top tier right now, and then you get 16 gigs of RAM, or should I be pushing for 32? I don't even know if 64 is a configuration for it. I don't even know if 32 is a configuration for it, to be honest, but I feel like 16 it should be like bare minimum, right?
If you spend the money, why not? But 16 was like the 2010 max. So like 16 is, and it's still not even normal. As long as you have 8, you're good right now. And so even 16 right now is like still, it's mid-range stuff, but you still have way more headroom than you really need. AKA 9 times out of 10, you bottleneck everywhere else before the 16 hits you. But it still depends. Like I said, it depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. It's mainly for the editing, so I just want something to push out the edits in a speediest way to keep.
And so even with that, and that's another thing they don't talk about too much. But they do, but they don't directly say it. Even the cats who do both, like I got the 32, 128 gig RAM, blah blah. 9%, like if you're trying to speed up your encode, that's already done on your GPU. So that's already pushed off for like your system altogether. And so now you got to deal with the VRAM or your RAM on your graphics card that's taking that load. That ain't got nothing to do with your 16 over here. And then even too, all that computing process is done there. And now that involves what program you're using and what program you're using, what graphics card is optimized with, and then how you're trying to save your media, what you're trying to use. And so that's what gets into that whole debate. So even then, that's kind of off of your processor and that's off of your RAM and kind of stuff. So it's like those aren't end all be all.
Okay, so professional opinion: should I go for the laptop or should I build a PC?
I mean, that's on you.
I like the portability of the laptop, but I'm home. You know what I'm saying? So where am I going to port it to? You know what I'm saying? So like
growing up, I used to say I never understood why niggas aren't big fans of minivan, but no one in their moms likes a minivan. You would never drive a minivan.
I whipped my mom's Odyssey for a minute, bro.
But you would never cop a minivan.
I'm like Kendrick from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
You copped a 4-seater SUV instead of a 5-seater SUV. Instead of a minivan. There's so many layers before you even got to that. And so it's like, that doesn't kill the practicality. It's the same size, same price, but no one likes a minivan. Anyway, look, I don't see why not to get a desktop. 90% of people really don't do nothing outside the house. This is even before the pandemic. The pandemic was going on. Niggas really ain't doing nothing outside the house. Is what it is. Even with now, like I would still invest in my workstation before the laptop, even if this wasn't a MacBook. Because if I ever really do need to do anything crazy or anything fun, I'm back home doing it. Or two, I can always remote in and do like any like last minute tinkery stuff. Or for a worst case scenario, I have to do like when I was playing games originally, I'll just stream my stuff online. And so it's like really worst case, I can invest in one and make do everywhere else. Laptops, you always have to compromise and do all that kind of silly stuff.
Interesting.
But that's my preference and my workflow stuff.
Would you recommend any pre-built companies, or do you just straight up prefer to like pick your own parts and do it from there?
I cop a pre-built if it was on sale. But the dedicated pre-built companies are like, oh, you just pick the parts, give us 50 and we make it for you. Most of that stuff, nah, there's no reason for me to do that route. Because even then, if I wasn't making my own computer and I had the money up front to pay for my own custom computer, there's really no reason for me to go with them. But 9 times out of 10, I don't have $1,500 up front to buy all these different parts and put together. I'm probably just picking up part here when it's on sale. Then the next week I'm gonna cop this. I'm gonna pay full price for this the following week. I would just do it that way, and it's all the same result.
Piece by piece. Okay. So basic wise, and I mean, chill. Feel free to jump in if you have any questions too. I know I'm picking Are.dot's brain, but if we think about the squad, right, all 6, what do we all need? So like, I know Brando needs a mic. We gotta get our man off the auto-tune.
But he does have a mic. That's the thing. But we all don't know the legitimacy.
Right.
But say he has a mic.
So yeah, I guess overall, like, I mean, everyone's varying quality when it comes to video, right? Like, I don't expect anyone to go out and like buy a good camera, you know, off rip and just be like, hey, I want to look like this on the stream. Like, nah, you know, you just work with what you got with, right? But is there anything that's like essential that you think some of us may need, whether or not we can like either encourage them to get it on our own, or if we can just donate to the cause, or whatever. Before we get to that point, we have something, we got spare parts, and we could just pass those along. Do we think we have any like mission critical type stuff that we need to spread the love with as far as that, or is everyone kind of decent enough as is?
Consistency would be nice. I can only jump in so much answering this question because we don't have, and it kind of goes back to our Riverside discussion earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How we are running stuff is still in an experimental phase, for lack of a better word. So it's like our foundation there kind of can make or break everyone's current setup as being like great and satisfactory, or still being a little fishy and not too great for us at the time. And so right now everyone is kind of decent, and if the stuff that I do want to experiment actually does, we can make everyone like at least like B tier, like at least like 8 out of 10. But right now with all the different varying connections and different devices and like different just setups, we just look a little crazy, we look a little wild right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we gonna have to deal with the ghetto-ness of this right now.
Thank you, Karen, for using that word. That's exactly it.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with being a little ghetto. You gotta get past that to get
why he's so strong on that?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it.
Ghetto. I mean, no, it's true.
If you didn't know, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it.
It's true. Like, there's only so much we can do, especially starting off. Like we want to look quality, and I think there are other ways to do it without it just being all out of pocket expenses. But
yeah. Even starting as little as hold it horizontal to be professional, just like Gambino said. Little stuff like that, everyone could do. Whether you use the microphones you can choose from, or your headphones, like just choosing this one over this kind of thing, or even just starting as though they'll try to podcast while in the car kind of thing.
Please don't.
Unless you're really nice.
Please don't. Yeah, those are fun for the one-offs, but like that's a tough edit for sure.
Yeah, I'm a pod on a bike one day, but y'all don't worry about that.
Please don't do that.
I'm gonna be out here.
Watch yourself.
Nah, that's weird. I have Machine on the bike then. I mean, talking to chat and everything. Like, yeah.
Anyway. Alright. I think that was it. I think that's pretty much everything. Did y'all have any thoughts, opinions, questions, comments, concerns about what our roadmap should be looking like?
I think I did. I can't think of them at the time, but
I mean, I kind of like where things are right now. Like Are.dot said, I think we're still very much in an experimental phase with this. So it's a lot we gotta kind of figure out and finesse as things go. And I think we addressed a lot of this today, or a lot of really, really important topics today, at least.
Same. Cool. Well, I think that's it. I mean, another pod planning video in the books. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it feels good to do this type of stuff, right? Because like we started literally in November
from nothing
officially, right? Like trying to like get stuff together, and yeah, it was from nothing, right? It was just literally like we had some one-off discussions at a few points in times, and said that sounds good, right? But now it's like literally like some effort involved with it, and yeah, we still got our jobs, we still slaving for the mans. Life has not changed in that regard, you know what I mean? Like we broke. So it's nothing that we've assumed will become an overnight success with or anything like that. And I think all woes from early channel designs
from the 6 Sorry.
Man. Keep it down south. We got nothing to do with Canada.
We got 6. We got a 6 here though. You from the 6?
Nothing to do with CLB. I just feel like, it's good to have these open discussions because these growing pains are, I think, what a lot of people go through. Can't say I've never really, I can't say people don't put it up on YouTube. I've never gone through my own investigations of how I kind of work for other people, but it's kind of cool to just go through it myself with my homies and just kind of be like, oh, okay, so these are some of the things that we will go through, and we're doing it.
Ebook masterclass coming out though soon. You gotta check the Patreon for that.
Yeah. Website, webinars.
100% guarantee on running a successful podcast coming soon.
Exactly.
2021.
You know what I'm saying? Easy money. So yeah, I mean, that's this little thing. We'll be back. Chill. Do you want to give us? You want to give the fans anything about the new pod coming up for the games? For that potential player twos podcast or whatever we're gonna call it, like when is it gonna happen?
Potential twos is dope.
Did we decide if we're doing it on the 31st or the 30th or whatever? Because I know we were trying to decide whether it was gonna be like that Friday or Saturday. We definitely got topics because CD Projekt Red is on the docket. Mm-hmm. I want this draft to happen because I did watch the Easy Allies video, okay. and I like the new setup and the new stuff that they've added. Yeah. Plus, I think it'd be just a fun little topic to have.
Yeah, that'll definitely make a lot of the year a lot more interesting when people are paying attention to some of the releases, more heavily than we naturally would have, whether we get them or not. Just the kind of that industry side of things of like how stuff will perform. So yeah, that'll be cool. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, man. We'll post it up in the Discord. We'll lock the date down. What you got, Mr. Editor in Chief? You got any words for us, right quick?
None at the moment. I'm just a Photoshop guy. Until I close the stupid program, I'm just here for art.
R.dot, the art guy. We see you. All right, fam. Well, this has been a Player 2's production for now. Just talking about our future from our present time. We will catch y'all on the next one. Until then.
Potential twos.